Hey YouTube, it's RJ. Today we're going to do the AVIN Avant 4 head unit review. I've had about a week to use it multiple times. I drove the car as much as I possibly could in different configurations as well that I think would be useful for you all to know. I tested CarPlay on its own. I did offline, so just the head unit on its own to see how it would do. So like offline maps and things of that nature. And then I did a hotspot. So with the phone enabled to see how when the head unit has everything, all access to the internet, how that kind of goes. I'm very happy with the head unit as an initial experience, and I'll walk you through kind of the things that I adjusted on my head unit and go through kind of the menus that I went through and had to change and make some adjustments and give you my take on the head unit itself. So without further ado, let's get to it. So one thing I mentioned towards the end of my install video is just the performance, the speed of this thing, in particular the boot up time. It is so fast. As you can see, the car is completely off, the key's off. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the key onto the accessory. Boom, it goes right in. It's some people change the boot startup logo and whatnot in older generations. This doesn't even have enough time to even run that. It's so quick. The car could be sitting overnight. It could be right after. As you can see, I'll turn it off. It turns off right away. Powering off, and then that's it. Like, it's so fast. This is the PX6 model, as I mentioned before. So this has the 6-core processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 internal memory, which is great for offline maps and whatnot. It's so quick. I can't speak to the PX4, but just from my experience with this unit, it's incredible. And if you can, it's definitely worth the upgrade to the PX6. Scrolling on this unit is just incredibly quick. Maybe the video isn't doing it justice, but it's so fast and responsive, which I really enjoy. This is the PX6 model again, so it does have the faster processor and everything. It's so fast. And if you want to open up Waze or Spotify or anything like that, just go ahead and open. I'm currently running the hotspot on my phone, so it is getting connection through that. Yeah, so you can just search, you can do whatever you want. It's so quick. Bring up the keyboard here. I don't know, search whatever artist you want. Right. So it's so fast. This is how you would also download apps like Waze, Spotify. Obviously, you go through the Play Store. It's just basic Android. Besides the performance of the AVIN Avant 4, the styling is really on point. With the OEM system, you can see that it just fits with the buttons. The styling of even the AVIN buttons, everything just looks and matches so well. One thing that everybody does is you can adjust the illumination behind the keys here on the AVIN. So you would actually go to settings here, and then you could go to car. That's kind of where most of your settings are going to be. So you've got, as you can see here, you've got element, steering wheel keys, your amplifier, navigation settings, stuff like that. So you go to element here, and then this is where you can really adjust what color you want your keys to be. One thing that I want to point out is that the unit itself actually comes with a few different launchers. So if you go to the settings menu and you go down to car, and then you can go down to home app. So it comes with a few different launchers that you can select. So you can tell that it's different than when I had installed the head unit. So you can see this is another one. So you get different animations. This is great just to customize your look. I particularly like the one that I had. They're on the website, the AVIN website, so you can go there and walk through that. Another thing you can do is if you go down to here, factory settings, this is where you can change a lot of like audio levels and such like that. You don't really want to mess with this too much. If you have any questions, you can contact AVIN about kind of all the settings, but this is really kind of diving into where like if you mess up your radio, like this could throw off your connection to your local radio depending on where you are. But it kind of goes through everything. Key study, you can do that as well. Some other options, and as you saw, the The password is 126. So just something to keep in mind, that you can customize some things within that. One of the biggest features of this head unit that I mentioned in my install video was the camera. So the rear view camera gives me a clear image of where I'm going, gives you some distance controls, but right here is the end of my bumper. I still have some space behind me, so it just gives me a good reference point, which is fantastic. And then once it loads back the HD camera, you have to download the specific app. It'll just pop in, you see it's recording up here. You know, you can replay on that app. You do have to download the specific version, and the way you find that is through the AVIN support page. So it'll take you to a link, and you just download it right here, the file, and then install it from the head unit, and it's great. As far as other apps, so you have CarPlay here. You know, open that up, pops right in with CarPlay. Nothing really to go over there. CarPlay's CarPlay. The iBus app, that's a great app. If right now they were on back order, and they're waiting for the new version of this iBus system. But what that'll allow is for me to monitor kind of the car's you know, temperatures, the voltage, all aspects of the vehicle can be done with this. I think you can actually do some coding as well within here. So that's something I'm really looking forward to doing in the future with this head unit. But yeah, you can install whatever you want. I mean, whatever's on the Play Store, right? So Waze, Spotify, YouTube. So you just, I mean, it's so quick. You can do the TPMS sensor if you want to option that. So it'll give you your tire pressure. So the app selection is fantastic. This Easy Connect, so this is for screen mirroring. So if you want to mirror your iPhone screen, you can do that here if you want. You know, calendar, file browser, the whole everything here. Go to amplifier, take you right there. You can also do that with a press here, as I showed before. Yeah, it's just it's easy to use. It gives you all of the apps that you really would want. You know, you get to decide what you want. There's no real like excess that's going to slow down the system or bog it down. It's so quick, and it gives you what you want, but not what you don't need. And that's what I really like about this unit. Now, I mentioned before that I tested in 3 different configurations. The first one that I really wanted to see how it worked is the wireless CarPlay. And I have to say, it's great. I haven't had any dropouts or any sort of connection issues. Sometimes if it doesn't launch right away, all you have to do is open the autoplay and it'll immediately connect you. Currently, it's not going to find my phone because I don't have it connected at the moment. You'll see no device found. And that's one thing to keep in mind, is that if you are going to test with or connect your phone via Bluetooth audio, which is run through this A2DP app. So this is where you would connect your phone to the Bluetooth. Then you can't actually connect to CarPlay. It's one or the other, really. Otherwise, the system kind of gets all messed up. And another thing with the CarPlay is that if you are playing Spotify through the CarPlay, I found this, you actually have to pause the song if you want to listen to the radio. So you have to pause the song on CarPlay and close out of CarPlay, or just pause it and then come back to the main menu, and then you can open up your radio and it'll start the audio. But if you don't, what's going to happen is if you open this, it actually just stops the audio. So it goes from you'll start the radio for a couple seconds and it'll stop. So the way I found out how to fix that is you go into your Apple CarPlay, Spotify, pause it, you come back and hit that. So it's an annoyance if you're using CarPlay, but I imagine if you're using Spotify anyway, you're not necessarily listening to the radio. But just something to keep in mind. When it is operational, I mean, CarPlay's CarPlay. It's fantastic. I haven't had any like I said, any dropouts. The audio quality is great when streaming. One thing you don't really get is, like, if you get the Spotify app, you get the standard CarPlay app, right? So you won't get the ability to really search or go through charts or anything like that. That's kind of what the hotspotting feature allows you to do. So the CarPlay is great. It's simple. You know, everybody's used to it. It should be easy to understand for everyone. So it's great if you just wanted a head unit that was super quick, the ability to run CarPlay in it, and you're used to the whole system. So that's kind of the first configuration I tested. I had, like I said, no problems at all. I even tested the call quality when I was within CarPlay. The unit has a built-in microphone, and other than when I was on the highway and they heard some like wind noise or it sounded like I was a little further away, it was great. I mean, even just going through traffic and I had a long conversation even just about the call quality. It was great. No issues as far as being able to hear me or get a and vice versa. The call quality from the other person to me was fantastic. Yeah, so no real complaints there. I don't know. I know some people have had issues with CarPlay connecting ever so often, and like I said, I never had it. And I even tested it in two different ways. I tested the wireless CarPlay, which, like I said, if it doesn't launch automatically, you just hit it and then it'll automatically connect, boot you in. It's totally fine. Nothing to complain about. And the other is I have that wired connection set here, right? So I have this set as a USB cable that runs into the adapter inside or behind the head unit here, the wireless adapter, and it works just fine. Plug it in, boots up to CarPlay right away, and like I said, no real audio issues or any sort of connection problems. Everything works completely smooth, especially with like I said, the upgraded processor. Another configuration I tested was completely offline, so no hotspot, no internet connection whatsoever. So obviously that hinders any sort of applications you might use. But the reason I wanted to test that out is because in Google Maps you can download offline maps, which is great. So I downloaded a massive region around my area. That way I'm able to search, if I lose some signal from my phone or whatever, I'm still able to navigate to where I need to go because it has the GPS unit, and then I have the offline map. So I put in the address or the destination, and I search it. It's able to find it, start guidance, and takes me right to it. So no issues there. There was a point where the GPS did have an issue finding my location, and it did lose the location ever so often. That could be the location that I put my GPS unit. Now, if you remember, I put it up here. Behind the cluster up here, so I might have to move it. I know some people put it up here, kind of where I have the Wi-Fi antenna, which is underneath that bar if you look at my installation video, and other people actually put it in the far corner over here. So yeah, I mean, besides that was one time that occurred where it really couldn't find a good signal. I don't know how often you'll really need to use that ability, because I would imagine you would either have your phone connected or CarPlay, so in any case you'll have some sort of more stable internet connection. But as far as a fail-safe, that's fantastic. The fact that you can still get to where you're going or wanting to go, even if you have no internet whatsoever. So that's great. That's really the main reason why I would use that. And finally, the last configuration that I tested was the hotspotting and Bluetooth audio. So I think this would be the most used setup with if you don't have any CarPlay adapter, and it works great. You connect through Bluetooth, it connects immediately, no problems there. The audio, like I said, is great. As I've said many times, one of the greatest features of this particular unit in the design are the hard key buttons. So as you can see, you've got this loud button, which I recommend to have on. The audio quality gets really how do I say it? It improves substantially when you have this on. However, it does get loud, as it implies. So you do have to fiddle with the volume. I have to turn it down a bit, but the audio quality does actually get really good. And here you can also change the EQ. So as you can see, if I go in here, custom, rock, pop, jazz, classic, all that. And then music, this will take you into the music player that you can plug in with a USB. And then if you click, so this is your tune for your radio. So if you were to turn this, it would change your radio. But if you hit it, if you click it, actually opens up the EQ. And now this is where that DSP chipset comes in handy. So you've got a array of 15 adjustments you can make. And as you can see, this is where those EQ settings are. So this is like voice, this is custom, rock, so everything changes. And then you can turn loud off on. You can really dive into, you know, where you want to place the sound, you know, all of this stuff. So you can really, like I said, really fine tune what's going on here. You can adjust the bass, sub response. I just played around with this. You can also just reset everything, turns it all off if you really want to. So yeah, you can really go to town, especially if you're an audiophile, and make some serious adjustments. It really helps out, and the audio quality is great. I've heard mixed things about, you know, installing an aftermarket head unit, how it messes up the audio quality, or it doesn't sound as good, or there's, you know, I haven't, with my particular unit, because it's all I can speak for at least, I haven't had any issues like that. If anything, all the quality of the sound got way better, and over the factory unit. There are like things where, you know, the radio won't sound as crisp, but it's even better than the OEM setup, right? What I mean by that is that the FM station audio quality isn't like on par with like streaming Spotify, right? You know, it's still a radio signal. So yeah, you're not going to get like crisp audio that you would, you know, streaming music from your phone or through CarPlay. But it's fantastic. I mean, I will play an audio clip for you, but I don't want copyright struck. But I can assure you that it stays the same or exceeds much better. And really, my experience is that I was so impressed with the audio quality that alone is enough. Besides, I think the biggest thing, which is like navigation, apps, the whole nine. The audio quality was fantastic when I tested it out with this unit, and I constantly switched. I did some radio one day, I did some streaming through Bluetooth another, I did the CarPlay, and overall, they're all fantastic. I really haven't had an issue with the quality itself. Well, there we have it. So that's my AVIN Avant 4 review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and it helps you make a decision whether or not this is something you would consider for your car. I can say that I am in love with the AVIN Avant 4 head unit. It's super fast. I didn't have any connection issues. It makes the driving experience so much more enjoyable within the car when I'm just going, you know, to run errands or go to work or something. It's so great. Just get in the car. It works just fine. So fast. To boot up for one, and then operating it is so smooth. I wouldn't think twice about getting one. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more tutorials and videos. I'll try to keep you guys up to date on the next steps of my car. And yeah, take care.